The invading Russian army once again attempted to launch an assault in the direction of Kupyansk city in the Kharkiv region. The invaders, trying to advance with 2 tanks, 3 armored personnel carriers, and around 40 infantry soldiers, were stopped by the fighters of Ukraine's 429th Achilles Separate Unmanned Systems Regiment, the 116th Brigade, and the 15th Brigade. Strikes from drones and artillery systems destroyed the invaders' armored vehicles and a significant number of personnel. As a result, the latest assault by the occupying forces ended in failure.
Fighters of the 1st Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, Azov, revealed details of the military actions in the Pokrovsk direction. Azov stated that in 24 hours they managed to reduce the number of occupiers in the zone of responsibility by 151, and more than 70 more were added to the list of wounded. This was reported in the Telegram channel 1st Corps of NSU, Azov. Ukrainian defenders were able to replenish the exchange fund by 8 people. The implementation of the plan to eliminate the enemy in the Pokrovsk direction continues. The enemy is suffering significant losses, and military operations continue, the Corps stated. The situation in the Pokrovsk direction remains difficult. The enemy has amassed forces numbering more than 110,000 soldiers. Sabotage groups have penetrated into 4 settlements: Kucherov Yar, Rubeznoye, Vesyoloye, Robeznoye, and Volnoye. Let us recall that media reported on the transfer of Azov to the Pokrovsk direction on August the 12th. The National Guard took measures to block the enemy forces. The Russian army failed to implement its plans for a breakthrough. Several days ago, the 1st Corps of the National Guard of Ukraine, Azov, occupied a certain line of defense in the Pokrovsk direction. As noted in the statement, the situation in this area remains complex and dynamic, but the enemy, trying to move forward, suffers significant losses in manpower and equipment. The Corps Command reported that measures to block enemy forces in the designated area have already been developed and implemented. These actions are aimed at disrupting further attacks and stabilizing the situation on the front line. According to Azov, the results of the events will be made public later. But it is already clear that the occupiers' plan to break through the Ukrainian defense in the Pokrovsk direction was not realized. The ISW analysis notes that the coming days could become critically important for the situation near Pokrovsk, since Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups have become more active in the Dobropolye area, and Putin's troops have managed to advance in the southeastern direction from this settlement. Also, the attempt of Russian sabotage groups to break through to the Pokrovsk area ended in complete failure for the occupiers. The Ukrainian armed forces promptly detected their approach and dealt a crushing blow, destroying about 80% of the assault group, and the remaining enemies continue to be eliminated on the approaches to the city. The Russians are trying to strengthen their position ahead of the possible end of the war by using new tactics, including small infiltrations and drones. The occupiers are using women in assaults, which is a consequence of Russian propaganda that deceives the military about the real situation at the front. Deputy Commander of the NGU Typhoon Special Forces Unit, Pavel Gvozdenko, told Channel 24 in an interview what is currently happening at the front. The Russians' capabilities have progressed greatly compared to what they were at the beginning of the war. At that time, the Ukrainian forces had a very serious advantage in unmanned technologies, but now they are actively closing this advantage, this gap. The occupiers copy our developments, which become available to them, and in parallel develop their own means, which they effectively use at the front. They learn and learn well. This is one of the big minuses. If earlier it was more or less calm at a distance of 15 to 20 kilometers from the line of combat, now these are points to which some enemy drones can easily fly. The enemy uses various types of drones, both fiber optic and classic, as well as drones with artificial intelligence. Thanks to this, he has quite good positions, although, of course, we also oppose them with our technologies, successfully destroy their equipment, manpower. Today we do it more effectively, but our losses are very painful, he added. Russian propaganda is spreading so that Russians sign contracts, go to war, and everything will be fine. They will become rich. This is indeed big money for them and the main motivation for which they go to war. Of course, when they are told that they will not meet anyone there, that they just have to go forward, it inspires them. They are not afraid. But if they knew the real situation, they would certainly think twice. For example, 2 Russian fighters are walking. One of them is hit by a drone or something else. He gets wounded. And the one who remains unharmed abandons the 300th and doesn't even try to help him. They lack humanity because they almost never help their fighters. They don't take them. Although their propaganda promotes the narrative that we Russians don't abandon our own, I don't know then who their own are if they abandon their brothers on the battlefield, he said. He said that Russians throw women into fighting. Usually the enemy has many female soldiers who serve mainly in the rear support units. However, there are situations when they participate in assaults. These women are moving forward thanks to propaganda. For Putin, it probably makes no difference who it is, a woman or a man. I think he would send children without worry. The result is important to him. We haven't encountered this because there's no time to filter. It flies out once, hits the targets, and then the pilot's job is to launch the next drone. We often work even without illumination. It's important for us to destroy targets first and foremost, not to record the number of enemies. The level of training of our pilots is sufficient, so when a pilot says that he hit the target, we understand that this is what happened. This is why we work this way, said Pavel Gvozdenko,